Hey y'all, my name's Jay and I am the Storm-Tossed Cannon. I am so glad to welcome you guys back to my channel. This video is going to be a bit of a longer one, so I made this short little intro section to explain the video formatting so you guys can get through it a bit easier. Looking down at the bar, you're going to see it's broken up into sections. Those sections also happen to be time-stamped in the video description, so you can go click on those timestamps there to jump through the different parts. The video, as the title implies, will be about my fitness journey, so it'll be organized using photos throughout the years. Now, while you guys will see these photos pop up on screen, I have them over here in print format so that I can guide myself through the video. The last thing I want to note before we get on is this video has been in production for a really long time. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on it and the reason it took so long is because I really want to get perfect. This is, well, right now, take 105, but I am so glad that we're finally bringing this video to you. I am 100% happy with its quality. So I thank you guys so much for watching. Please watch the whole thing. Give me your thoughts at the end. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So for this section, I'm just gonna have my Edgar Edwin fade to black and show the pictures up on screen because it's gonna be really, really short. Basically, I'm just showing the time between 2006 and 2009, which really is just my early childhood. So what you're gonna see is a normal, healthy kid who was kind of active. As you can see, I was on a boat at one point. I did a lot of swimming and whatnot, but there was nothing abnormal about me. Though I did karate, a couple other sports, I was just a healthy, active kid. However, there is one photo that I want to draw all your attention to. This one right up here, the guy named Julian is a STEM muffin. Totally best day of my life, and I still can't top it. So, with that being said, I think that naturally takes us to the next section. Moving on to my middle school years from around 2010 to 2013, I'm going to start with this picture in my ridiculous drummer outfit. Now, see, when I went to middle school, I actually went to a music magnet. I thought I'd be the next Eddie Van Halen, but I did miss a couple points, like the fact that Eddie Van Halen's a guitarist, not a drummer, and also the fact that every single instrument I tried was literally not in any of the music I listened to. French horn, saxophone, clarinet, bassoon, none of it. I never once thought to even pick up a guitar. Truly amazing. In any case, I think that moves us on to the other hobbies I picked up in middle school, like rock climbing over here and ice skating over here. As I said, I was really active. I did mention that I did karate in the last section, but I continued doing that here. And I picked up even more active hobbies. I was rock climbing every Wednesday night with my rock climbing group and on weekends whenever I could. In fact, I got my parents belay certified at my rock climbing gym so that they could come climb with me when my friends were busy. Also with ice skating, my parents bought me a pair of ice skates. And we would go ice skating as often as I could. I lived right next to an ice arena in my town, so there was plenty of opportunities to go. Aside from that though, a couple of the other pictures which I've got Edwin throw throughout this section are just gonna show me as a normal kid growing up. I mean, I was healthy, I was pretty thin, I was looking good. And I think that all culminates in this last photo from 2013, right over here, where you could see the guy was looking great. I was lean, I was healthy, I was actually looking a lot more active than most kids my age. So that was my middle school years. I think the guy was doing really well, and this precludes the high school issues I had where I had to start gaining weight because of them. So I'm going to let that naturally move us into that high school section. All right, guys, so two quick notes before we start the section. First one being, you're going to notice there are literally no photos from 2014. Now, I indexed my camera roll, my parents' camera roll, some family members' camera rolls, and there were literally no photos of me from 2014. Thankfully, nothing eventful happened that year, so we're all good. The next note is starting with this photo right here. You're going to see people are getting cut out. The reason for that is some of these folks are people that I don't know personally, random strangers. For instance, in this one, it was a cosplayer at SuperCon. Now, I don't know if those folks want to be put out on the internet or want their image put out there for everyone to see. So I'm going to be cutting them from the photos, in addition to friends who said, oh, I don't look that good in that pic. So I'm going to cut them out as well. That being said, let's move on. So seeing 2015, you're starting to see a bit of weight gain, but nothing hugely noticeable in that early photo. But by late 2015, here with my Scoutmaster, that's when you're starting to see some big weight gain come on. So let's talk about why I started gaining weight in high school in the first place. In high school, I went to a very challenging, rigorous high school. I could not spend as much time as I had doing all of these extracurriculars because I need to spend that time focusing on studying. When I did graduate high school, I was a very unique student. I almost flunked actually, but I had 15 APs, all fives. Now, how on earth do I manage that? Well, like I said, it was one of these weird schools where I had to take Greek and Greek math. I was not doing well in those two classes, but I would do well in my main classes. So to even try graduate to bring that GPA up, I quit all my extracurriculars. I didn't do karate anymore. I stopped rock climbing shortly after. And of course, I stopped ice skating, in addition to tapering down the amount of time I spent camping, hiking, and whatnot with the Boy Scouts, which was a big part of my life before then. And you'll see now throughout these 4 years of high school, that's when the weight for the first time came on strong. Here in 2016, at the beginning of the school year, I was bigger, but it would not stop. I'm going to now go to this next photo, which I'm going to blow up real big on the screen here. This photo is from one of my birthdays at my favorite restaurant, Silver Palace. And you're going to notice me, the guy with the red arrow pointing at me, I was huge. I was not just big, I was getting noticeably big. Family members were trying to comment, I have friends. And it was to the point where it became a problem. But me, I didn't notice or care at the time, But I will say this. By 2017, I did start to notice. So this first photo from 2017 is me and my abuela together. This next one, which I think is going to start showing really how big I got. Here I am visiting family in Cuba on the beach. And you're going to see, I'm shirtless there and I look big. It's the first time that weight just truly came on. And in 2017, I did start to notice, but I didn't take action for a bit. So, moving on to the start of the school year that year, here's me with the bucket on. That's actually my senior crown because I am truly genius, with my buddy Marcel there. And you're going to see, again, more weight gain. Next one, me and Edwin right here. That's him right there. So that's us at Boy Scouts again. I was still doing some scouting activities, just not a lot of the campouts, not a lot of the active ones that took a lot more time. And the last photo from this section, me and my scout mentor, Jim Burry. I was huge. I mean, this photo really shows my rotundness. In fact, so much so that I will blow this one up as well. Looking at it, you're seeing just how big I was, just how big I got. So I think that exemplifies the end of 2017. I noticed I had a weight problem then, and that's why I said I'm doing something about it. So having noticed, I actually started going to the gym with my buddy Keith. In fact, I think I'm going to clip in some of our old gym footage here so you can see me for the first time ever working out. And this is when I started taking action. Now, going into early college, the next section, you'll actually see that action did pay off somewhat. I did lose a little bit of weight, and in fact, I gained quite a bit of muscle, but it would not be enough to stave off what would later become the biggest I ever got. So with that being said, I think it's a good time to move to early college. So I graduated high school in 2017 and moved on to college. Here's me right at the beginning of college in 2018 with my buddy Diana actually visiting our old high school. And you're going to see at this point, the training with Keith actually started paying off. So I built some muscle, like I even lost a small bit of fat. Here's another photo from that same year, 2018, boom. Me and my old buddy, George Poley. Hey, George. You're going to see how much muscle I really put on. Bigger shoulders, bigger arms, bigger forearm. I was looking quite good. And in fact, the training was going great. Now, problems started up again right after this because right between 2018 and 2019, I would graduate. See, I went to community college, and like I mentioned before, I had a lot of AP credits. So I graduated in a semester and a half instead of 2 years. But my buddy Keith, the guy who I always went to the gym with, he went into a medical program. And so his college only got harder. And as he got into more difficult, more strenuous college classes, I got into easier ones. He actually would wind up having less time to train. And when he did train, his hours would become erratic. So that led to me training a lot less because I wasn't really ready to start training without Keith. I mean, going with my friends, going with Keith was really the reason I went, to hang out with him. Not as much because I liked the training. And let me tell you, the weight came right back on. So you're going to see late 2018 here. This photo is actually from the first time I ate the world-size pepper. I would wind up doing that 5 times. I might, share the old videos up, but the weight came right back on anyway. And that's, what happens when you stop exercising and you eat the same. Now moving on to 2019, I have 2 photos from this period. The first one, again, me and Abuela, that's on Mother's Day, and that is most definitely pre-fast. So this one is right around the biggest I ever got. And I have one more, me eat a steak and shake, literally right before, if not the first week of my first 15-day fast. These 2 together, which I'm gonna blow up real big for a quick second, they show just how big I got. So noticing that, I wanna show one other thing to show how big I got and talk about it. Now, these pants were my biggest ever pants, but they were also my favorite pants. You know why? Because I was a size 40, but not really. See, these pants stretch. So even though they're a 40, and you can see them right here, I was actually closer to a 42. So I would wear stretchy pants because I didn't want to face the fact that my waist was that big. In addition to that, I wouldn't step on scales and I wouldn't take photos. So from my true biggest, my absolute biggest, I have no clue what I looked like. I was scared to step on scales. I was scared to take photos. And I don't have anything from that period because I was so disgusting of myself. The guy said, fuck it. I'm not going to put anything out there. I had stopped all my hobbies and stopped training, and I ceased even being able to look at myself in the mirror without feeling gross and uncomfortable. And it was at this point where change needed to happen. So when we talk about my biggest, another good thing to note is weight. Well, how fat was I, right? To put it in perspective, the heaviest I ever physically weighed on a scale was 250 pounds. That's after 15 days of fasting. Now, I would later learn that every day I fasted, I would lose about 2 pounds. So theoretically speaking, at my absolute biggest, I weighed 275. If not, maybe a bit more, because that first 15-day fast, I also lost a lot more glycogen and a lot more weight from the food coming out of me than I was on subsequent fasts where I was losing 2 pounds a day. So I was probably 275, if not a little bit bigger at my absolute biggest. I'm a 5'5" guy. That's really big. And throughout when I started fasting, which is actually going to be the next section, where I'll talk about how long it took and how much I lost, which is right around a bit over 100 pounds. So let's move there. All right, guys, so for these next 2 sections, I'm actually going to be looking at the photos because as opposed to having like 5 or 10 photos, we now have 15 plus. Also, I'm going to be doing it as one huge take, so I will be checking. Now, for one last reference, I do want to show, again, these 2 photos, me at my biggest, right around 275. You saw the pants, but I will show them one more time, essentially 42s, all right? Now, it's at this point that I realize I have a problem. Well, my friends got me into fasting. They actually introduced me to Cole Robinson in his videos. So that's what I did. I said, hey, I'm going to start this fasting thing. Now, into the fast, I think the first photo you're going to see here, this is October 25th, right before Halloween. It's always a fun month on campus. That's 2 plague doctors there. And you see there's some weight loss. Now, I'm going to start wearing different clothes in these photos. Reason for that is I start losing so much weight that I have to change the clothes I'm actually wearing because the clothes I had didn't fit me. So they're going to show my weight a lot more accurately. Plus, there are a lot more photos. Next one here. This one is Halloween, me dressed as a woman. That was a good Halloween, actually. And since you can't really see what I look like in that photo, here's me after the fact back in my normal clothes. Now, I had forgotten to take off the makeup, so I do still look pretty hilarious. But that shirt is all the way back from early high school. So as you're going to see, I'm losing weight and fitting into old clothes. Now, that shirt's pretty tight at that point, right? So it's not like I have lost a shit ton of weight, but I've lost quite a bit. Moving on to the only photo from November, more weight loss, and then my December highlights. So this photo here is very important right up here because that shirt used to be an undershirt. See, I lost so much weight that my, again, pants, I bought completely new pants. So I was wearing sweatpants because they were so easily adjustable that I would lose waist sizes constantly. In fact, I would go from my biggest 42-ish, where I was wearing stretchy 40s, like I said, down to a 28 at my smallest. I was wearing my dad's pants, you know? So that's really how small I got. And that shirt there, that undershirt, it's starting to be a regular shirt. After that, me and an old scout buddy, Eric there, that navy shirt again, you can see, getting less tight by the day. Those two are from December. Now we're moving into the new year. And these photos, these next couple, are actually going to be from me right around my leanest. So me and a bunch of friends at the ice arena in January. Right in that photo, I was a bit above. I think I was 170, 175-ish. But I was getting very close. Me in February, right around 160. And that is really how lean I got. Now, these were, again, deep into fast. So as you can see, my face was a bit more sunken. My features were a bit more obvious because of the deep fasting. However, here's one where I wasn't actually fasting. I was eating for a period of a couple days. See, in this May photo, by that time, I had realized I could no longer fast in 10 and 15-day increments. So I tapered it down to 5 and 3-day increments of no food for 5 days or 3 days, while eating in between and only once a week. So I would eat over the weekends, or I would eat for most of the week, but fast for 3. Now, the last photo I have from the fasting period, this is a screenshot from a school project. You can see I was able to grow out just a teensy-weensy bit of facial hair. But there is a reason this is the last time I ever fasted. See, I had known since around 2016 that I had low T. In 2016, I got tested, was told I had low T, but because I was still a youth, I was 16, I couldn't really get treatment. My doctor said, look, man, you got to come back when you're 18. If your numbers are still low, then we'll give you treatment. Now, the thing was, by the time I turned 18, I didn't really care about my health. And I thought to myself, oh, not a big issue. But during this fasting period, I mean, I wasn't just fasting. I was lifting weights for 2 hours a day. I'm running a mile every single day. That mile started at 15 minutes and I got it down to 8. I mean, 8 minutes ain't a super fast mile, but it's fast for me. And when I was fasting and working out that hard and working out that deep, yeah, of course I cared about all my other health markers. My mental health improved. I started getting the mental health treatment I've been neglecting. Yo, that depression that I felt, that hatred of my body, that was something that I treated. Now, all of these mental things that I let go untreated for years, I fixed. And I'll be damned if I would let my physical health continue to suffer. So, in my photos here, there's just a picture of a syringe. But on September 18th, 2020, I first injected TRT. I finally saw the doctor. My natural levels were right around 150 the first time. I would get those natural levels tested 3 times in a row because they kept thinking it was erroneous. But I would jump between 150 and at the highest my natural levels were ever tested were just around 200. So it was bad. But after that, I got on the TRT. I stopped fasting. And the reason I stopped fasting with TRT was because my doctor advised me to do so. He said, look, this stuff's going to make you hungrier. It's going to help you anyway. So why on earth would you keep fasting? And I quit. This photo here is from October 5th. Now, like I said, at my leanest after fasting, I'm going to blow up the October 5th photo here for a sec. I was 160. This is back at 180. So looking at that picture, what you're going to see is I gained back some fat and a little bit of muscle. But hey, that wasn't going to deter me. I said, look, even though I gained 20 pounds instantly, and I do want to break it down a bit, that 20 pounds was the weight of food, because remember I was fasting in these longer increments. That was glycogen weight because I started eating again and of course storing water. That was actual fat mass and some muscle mass. I said, enough's enough. I'm not getting all the weight back. And for a while I maintained 180. Then when I got more serious with the TRT, as you're going to see here, this November photo, which I named Fatty Flex, I actually lost the weight, started packing on muscle. By December of 2020, here in my absolute favorite Christmas sweater, I was packing on quite a bit, and that sweater is pretty tight, so you can see I was leaning out. We're going to move now to the last photo from that year, this December photo where I'm flexing my left bicep. Quick little note about my left bicep. As it turns out, My biceps are slightly differently sized. My left is only slightly smaller. Bothers the hell out of me. So I have a lot of left bicep photos trying to see if it's getting any bigger. It is, but they're both getting bigger at the same rate. Truly astounding. In any case, that ends 2020. That brings us to this year, 2021. So these 3 photos, I'm going to dump on screen all at once. And these 3 really show how good I started looking. They're from a photo shoot I did with Edwin at my gym. So you can see what I'm looking like now. Of course, you saw throughout this video what I look like now, right? Even though I'm, sitting and it doesn't look that great. I'm very quickly going to stand so you can see my legs and whatnot for a sec. That's what I look like. In fact, Edwin, please show an action clip right now. There you go. That's exactly what I look like right about now. So guys, after looking at that whole fitness journey, I do want to sum it up with a reason why I made this video. So the first one is I want to help others who were in my position. When I was at my biggest, I was suicidally depressed. Years of obesity and rejection, years of hating myself, not looking in the mirror, not realizing what pant size I was. I would wear smaller pants with stretchy waists, just hating who I was and not being able to be myself, I went through pain. What you saw in that video was the change, but you didn't see the pain and the struggle that came before it. You didn't see the suicidal depression, the times I tried to take my life. You didn't see the real darkness that I went through to make such a drastic change. And fasting was not the healthiest way to go about it, but it was the way I went about it. That's why I'm proud, When you look at that change, you look from a guy who wouldn't get in front of the camera, who hated himself so much that he wouldn't look in the mirror or get on scales, to a guy who now is so proud of what he did, so proud of the change he made, that he's willing to sit in front of this camera. He wants to show the entire world his life story. He wants to share with everyone what he did so he can help and inspire others. So I want you to look at this. I want you to look at the change I made. I want you to think, if you're out there, if you're struggling with anything, obesity, or really any struggle in your life and it's holding you down, depression, anxiety, fear, you need to work. It's not going to be easy. Fasting wasn't easy. Losing the weight wasn't easy, but it gets better. Every day it gets better. Every step you take, it gets better. And I'm so glad I made the change I did. And really the primary reason I made this video was to inspire others, to hope that people see my change and make change of their own, to hope that this gets out to the world. The second reason I did was I am a personal trainer now, so I want a video for the clients, of course, to see what I did. Again, for inspiration, but also for proof. These photos are proof of what I did. Proof that it went off as fast as it did, And the last reason was to sum up the beginning of this channel, to really give you guys something to look towards, something to see what I'm all about, what this is all about, what we're about, what the channel's about, what you and me are about. So I thank you guys so much for watching. And though the video got very serious at the end during that outro, I do want to say I am still a YouTuber. So I am still obligated to tell you to peep me on my socials. Check it all out. Please like, comment, subscribe, interact with this video. Let's get it big. Let's get it out there so more people can see it. More people can be inspired. More people can get the message. And more people can be drawn to my future content. So again, one last time, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for making it to the end of this incredibly long video. I am Jay, the Storm-Tossed Cannon, and peace.